My beloved child. Something is moving toward your home right now, and before this message is over, you will understand why your spirit has felt unsettled, why your heart has sensed a shift, why the silence around you has not felt ordinary. Do not rush past this moment. Stay with this until the end, because what is being uncovered has everything to do with the pain you could never fully explain. There is a truth approaching your door, a truth that has been hidden behind smiles, buried beneath excuses, disguised through half-spoken words and carefully crafted silence. And when it arrives, nothing around you will look the same again. Because the one who hurt you, the one who left confusion where there should have been clarity, the one who caused wounds and then acted as if they did not exist, is being revealed. Not slowly, not quietly, but in a way that will make everything finally connect. You have spent too much time questioning yourself, too many nights replaying conversations in your mind, wondering if maybe you misunderstood, wondering if maybe you were too sensitive, wondering if maybe the pain was your fault. But listen carefully, what is about to reach your home will prove something your heart has always known. You were never imagining it. You were never overreacting. You were never wrong for feeling what you felt. The betrayal was real. The hurt was real. And the person behind it has not remained hidden as long as they believed they would. Pay attention now, because this is where the story changes. The person who wounded you thought secrecy would protect them. They believed if they smiled enough, if they played innocent enough, if they shifted blame cleverly enough, they could rewrite history. They thought they could stand in the middle of your pain and still appear blameless. But truth has a way of surviving in darkness. Truth waits. Truth watches. Truth gathers every whisper, every contradiction, every hidden action, until one day, it no longer asks for permission to be seen. That day is near, very near, and when this truth enters your home, it will not come as rumor. It will not come as vague suspicion. It will come with clarity, with confirmation, with undeniable understanding, and suddenly the moments that never made sense will make sense. The coldness you could not explain, the distance that appeared overnight, the strange behavior, the emotional confusion, the way certain people changed toward you without reason, you will understand it all. Because someone was working behind the scenes. Someone was speaking when you were not in the room. Someone was shaping narratives while pretending to support you. Someone caused damage, then stood back and watched the fallout. But hear this carefully, their season of hiding is ending. The mask is slipping. The performance is weakening. And the truth they feared most is beginning to rise. Do not skip this moment. Because what happens next may explain why your life has felt delayed. Sometimes the greatest pain is not caused by open enemies, but by hidden hands. By people who stand close enough to hear your heartbeat, while secretly hoping you fail. By those who smile in your presence, yet speak differently when you leave. By those who act concerned, while quietly creating the very storms they pretend to comfort you through. Yes, the one who hurt you may be closer than you first imagined. That realization may sting. It may shake you. It may force you to rethink people you once trusted. But it will also free you. Because clarity is painful before it becomes powerful. And you are stepping into clarity now. This revelation is not arriving to destroy you. It is arriving to release you. To break your attachment to false people. To remove confusion from your spirit. To show you that what wounded you was never a reflection of your worth. Only a reflection of what was hidden in them. Let that sink in. They hurt you not because you lacked value, but because your light exposed what they could not become. They resisted you because your presence reminded them of what truth looks like. They attacked what they secretly admired. They tried to diminish what they could not imitate. And now, their own actions are leading them into exposure. Something huge is waiting for you beyond this pain. Because once the truth is revealed, you will stop chasing explanations. You will stop begging for honesty from dishonest people. You will stop carrying guilt that never belonged to you. And in that moment, your healing will begin in a way it never could before. But there is more. Because the truth reaching your home is not only about who hurt you, it is about who stood by silently, who knew more than they admitted, who watched longer than they should have, who remained quiet while you suffered. And that realization may be the second heartbreak, not just discovering the one who caused the wound, but discovering who allowed it, who protected appearances over protecting you, who chose comfort over courage, who knew the truth, and said nothing. Prepare yourself, because revelation does not expose one person only, it exposes every role surrounding the pain, every hidden alliance, every silent observer, every false supporter. And once you see it, you will never view your circle the same way again. Yet this is necessary, because your future cannot be built around deception. Your next chapter cannot include people who profit from your confusion. Your peace cannot grow in places where betrayal lives unchallenged. That is why this truth is coming now, not later, not eventually, now, because you are being separated from what can no longer go where you are headed. And though the revelation may hurt at first, the peace after it will be worth every tear. One day soon, you will sit in silence, thinking back to this season, and realize the heartbreak was not the end of your story. It was the exposure that saved your future. It was the unveiling that protected your path. It was the truth that prevented deeper damage. So hold steady. Do not panic when the truth arrives. Do not collapse when hidden things become visible. Do not fear the shaking. Sometimes everything unstable must be disturbed, so everything real can remain. And what is real, will remain. What is false, will fall. What is hidden, will surface. And the one who hurt you, will not stay hidden much longer. Because the heartbreaking truth is already on its way, and when it reaches your home, you will finally understand why everything had to unfold exactly this way. And what comes after that revelation is even bigger than the revelation itself. Because once the truth enters, someone will be forced to answer for what they did. And when that moment comes, everything changes. Then hear this closely. The moment the truth enters your home, silence will no longer protect anyone. What was whispered in secret will begin to echo in the open. What was denied for so long will suddenly become impossible to deny. And the one who hurt you, the one who thought they could wound you without consequence, will feel the weight of their own actions returning to them. Do not skip this part, because this is where everything begins to shift. There will come a conversation, a look, a message, a confession, some form of undeniable proof that changes the atmosphere instantly. And when it happens, your first reaction may not be anger. It may be shock. Because sometimes the deepest pain is not discovering that someone betrayed you. It is discovering how long they were willing to maintain the lie. Let that settle in your heart. They watched you struggle. They watched you question yourself. They watched you suffer in confusion, and still chose silence. That truth alone will reveal more about their character than any apology ever could. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you in this realization. Their betrayal was never proof that you were weak. It was proof that they needed deception to gain power over someone they could never overpower honestly. That is why they moved in shadows. That is why they manipulated quietly. That is why they twisted stories instead of speaking directly. Because truth was never on their side. And now the very truth they tried to bury is rising against them. You may soon witness something unexpected. The person who harmed you beginning to unravel. Their calm may disappear. Their confidence may weaken. their carefully maintained image may start cracking. Because when hidden things are exposed, people who lived behind masks begin to panic. And you must understand this. Their panic is not your responsibility. Their discomfort is not your burden. Their regret, if it comes, does not erase what they chose to do. Too often, when truth surfaces, the guilty suddenly become emotional, suddenly apologetic, suddenly reflective, suddenly full of explanations. But listen carefully, regret after exposure is not the same as honesty before exposure. Do not confuse guilt with growth. Do not confuse panic with transformation. Do not confuse their fear of consequences with genuine change. Because many people cry not because they are sorry they hurt you, but because they are sorry they were revealed. That distinction matters more than you know, because your healing depends on seeing clearly this time. No more excusing what broke you. No more romanticizing people who damaged your peace. No more shrinking your pain so others can remain comfortable. This next chapter of your life requires discernment. And that discernment is being forged through everything you are now learning. Do not skip. Because the next truth may be the hardest one. Some of the people around you knew more than they admitted. Watch closely who acts nervous when the truth surfaces. Watch who avoids eye contact. Watch who suddenly changes their tone. Watch who tries to minimize what happened. Because exposure does not only reveal the betrayer, it reveals everyone connected to the betrayal. And once you see who protected deception, you will understand who never truly stood with you. Yes, that realization may hurt. But false loyalty is more dangerous than open opposition. At least with open opposition, you know where you stand. False loyalty smiles while standing in the wrong room. False loyalty comforts you publicly and questions you privately. False loyalty pretends to support your healing while quietly feeding your wounds. That season is ending. Your eyes are opening. Your discernment is sharpening. And your spirit is learning what your heart once ignored. Not everyone who stands near you stands with you. Something huge is waiting for you beyond this heartbreak. Because after the exposure, comes separation. Necessary separation. Sacred separation. The kind of distance that protects your peace. The kind of ending that saves your future. The kind of closure that does not come through conversation, but through revelation. You will no longer need to ask who is real. You will know. You will no longer need to wonder who can be trusted. They will reveal themselves. You will no longer chase answers, because the answers will stand in front of you undeniable. And when that moment comes, do not beg anyone to explain what has already been exposed. Do not plead for honesty from people who had many chances to give it. Do not lower your standards just because the truth arrived wrapped in tears. Protect your peace. Honor your clarity. Respect the lesson. Because some revelations are not sent to repair relationships, they are sent to end illusions. And perhaps that is the greatest truth of all. This heartbreak, this exposure, this painful awakening, is not destroying your life. It is clearing your path. Removing what cannot follow you. Breaking ties with what was draining you. Pulling hidden poison from places you once called safe. One day you will thank this moment. Not because it did not hurt, but because it showed you exactly who people were before they could hurt you deeper. So let the truth arrive. Let the masks fall. Let the hidden become visible. Let the guilty explain themselves if they must. But do not lose your peace trying to rescue people from consequences they created. Because after the revelation, comes your rise. And what is coming next, is the part they never expected. Because once they realize you know the truth, they will understand they no longer control the story. And when that realization hits them, their next move may shock you. And this is the part they never prepared for. They were ready for your confusion. They were ready for your silence. They were ready for you to keep doubting yourself. But they were not ready for the moment you finally see everything clearly. Do not skip now. Because once they realize the truth has reached your home, once they understand you know what was hidden, their behavior will begin to change in ways you never expected. Some will suddenly become overly kind. Some will act as if nothing happened. Some will attempt to rewrite the past. And some will try to make you feel guilty for seeing the truth. Watch that carefully. Because when people can no longer control the narrative, they often try to control your reaction. They may say you are overthinking. They may say you misunderstood. They may say you are making things bigger than they are. They may act wounded simply because you stopped being blind. But hear this clearly: clarity is not cruelty. Recognizing betrayal is not bitterness. Protecting your peace is not revenge. Walking away from deception is not wrong. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you in this next lesson. The strongest version of you is born when you stop explaining your pain to people committed to misunderstanding it. That is your turning point. The moment you no longer beg people to admit what they did. The moment you no longer chase accountability from those who fear it. The moment you no longer waste your energy proving what your spirit already knows. That is when your power returns. And when your power returns, everything changes. Because the one who hurt you expected you to break. They expected endless tears. They expected emotional chaos. They expected you to remain attached to the wound they created. They expected your pain to keep you small. But what they did not foresee was your awakening. They did not expect the hurt to make you wiser. They did not expect the betrayal to sharpen your discernment. They did not expect the heartbreak to transform you into someone who can no longer be manipulated. And that transformation will unsettle them more than your anger ever could. Do not underestimate the power of becoming unreachable to what once hurt you. There is something deeply unsettling to a betrayer about watching the person they wounded become stronger instead of smaller. About seeing you peaceful without closure. About seeing you move forward without their apology. About seeing you glow without their validation. That is what they never planned for. And that is what comes next. Because once truth reaches your home, and once the hidden is exposed, the final thing left to decide is this: who do you become after the revelation? Do you remain trapped in bitterness, or do you rise in wisdom? Do you let betrayal harden your heart, or do you let it sharpen your standards? Do you keep mourning who people pretended to be, or do you accept who they revealed themselves to be? Choose carefully, because the pain was their action, but your healing is now your responsibility. And healing will require this difficult truth: not every apology will come. Not every person will admit what they did. Not every betrayal ends with confession. Sometimes closure comes not from their words, but from their patterns, from their excuses, from their refusal to take ownership, from their consistent choice to protect themselves over the truth. That is closure. When someone keeps showing you who they are, believe them. Do not skip, because this next realization may free you completely. The truth reaching your home was never meant only to expose them. It was meant to awaken you, to teach you discernment, to teach you boundaries, to teach you that peace is more valuable than proximity, to teach you that not everyone deserves access to your heart, to teach you that your kindness must be paired with wisdom, and perhaps most importantly, to teach you that losing the wrong people is not loss. It is alignment. Read that in your spirit again: losing the wrong people is not loss. It is alignment. Because your future cannot be built with people who celebrate your confusion. Your peace cannot grow beside those who feed off your pain. Your next chapter cannot include those who only loved the version of you they could manipulate. That version of you is gone now. And they know it. They can feel it. They can sense the distance. They can sense the shift. They can sense that the same tactics no longer work. And that realization is changing everything. Something huge is waiting for you after this. Not just exposure. Not just closure. Transformation. The kind that makes you unrecognizable to your past. The kind that makes old manipulation ineffective. The kind that makes your peace untouchable. The kind that causes people who once underestimated you to wonder how they ever thought they could control you. So let them watch. Let them see the strength they helped create. Let them witness the peace they can no longer disturb. Let them realize too late that the person they tried to break became wiser because of it. Because the heartbreaking truth that reached your home did not arrive to destroy you. It arrived to reveal them and awaken you. And now that your eyes are open, your next decision will determine everything. Because what you choose after this revelation will shape the entire future ahead of you. Now comes the decision that changes everything. After the truth reaches your home, after the mask falls, after the one who hurt you is fully revealed, you will stand at a crossroads most people never prepare for. Because exposure alone does not heal you. Knowing the truth is powerful, but what you do with that truth, that is what determines your future. Do not skip this part, because something huge is waiting for you in the choice you make next. You can remain emotionally tied to what broke you, or you can finally release it. You can keep replaying the betrayal, or you can let the lesson remain while the pain leaves. You can spend years trying to understand why they did what they did, or you can accept one difficult reality. Some people hurt others simply because they have not healed themselves. Not because you deserved it. Not because you lacked value. Not because you failed. But because broken people often damage what they do not know how to cherish. That truth may hurt, yet it will set you free. Because once you understand their actions were born from what was unresolved within them, you stop personalizing what was never truly about you. And when you stop personalizing it, you begin to rise. Stay till the end, because this next truth may be the one that changes your entire life. Healing does not begin when they apologize. Healing begins when you stop needing them to. That is real freedom. When their confession no longer controls your peace. When their validation no longer defines your worth. When their understanding is no longer required for your closure. When their presence is no longer necessary for your happiness. That is when you know you have healed. And the person who hurt you, whether they admit it or not, will eventually realize something painful for them. They lost access to someone they thought would always stay. They thought your loyalty was permanent. They thought your patience had no limit. They thought your heart would always remain open. They thought no matter what they did, you would still be there. But truth changes people. Pain teaches boundaries. Betrayal awakens discernment. And the version of you who tolerated confusion, who ignored red flags, who kept giving chances to those who misused them, that version of you no longer exists. They may look for the old you. They may expect the old access. They may expect the old softness without accountability. But they will not find that person anymore. Because the heartbreak that reached your home also built your standards. And your standards now protect what your kindness once exposed. Do not skip. Because here is the part few understand. Sometimes the greatest revenge is not proving anything. It is simply becoming untouchable by what once hurt you. Becoming so healed, so clear, so grounded, that manipulation no longer moves you. That lies no longer confuse you. That false affection no longer tempts you. That betrayal no longer breaks you the way it once did. That is power. Quiet power. Unshakable power. The kind of power that changes your entire future. And once you reach that place, you will begin attracting differently. You will stop entertaining confusion. You will stop tolerating inconsistency. You will stop mistaking intensity for sincerity. You will stop calling bare minimum effort love. You will stop giving deep access to shallow people, because pain taught you what peace now demands. And maybe that was the hidden purpose of all of this, not merely to expose who hurt you, but to transform what you will accept moving forward. Something huge is waiting for you beyond this chapter. Not another betrayal, not another painful cycle, not another lesson disguised as love, but alignment, peace, discernment, strength, the kind of future built only after illusion dies. So if your heart still aches, if part of you still wonders why this had to happen, remember this. Some truths break your heart only because they are breaking your attachment to what was never meant to remain. What left your life through exposure, needed to leave. What fell apart through revelation, needed to fall apart. What could not survive the truth, was never stable enough to build a future on. And one day, you will thank the heartbreak, not because it felt good, but because it taught you who was real, because it separated appearances from truth, because it showed you what your heart ignored, because it saved you from trusting what was never safe to trust. So let this be the final time you mourn people who harmed you. Let this be the final season you beg for honesty from those who live in masks. Let this be the final chapter where your peace depends on people who never valued it. Because after this revelation, after this heartbreak, after this awakening, you do not go backward. You rise. You rise wiser. You rise clearer. You rise stronger. You rise with standards that pain itself helped build. And when the next chapter begins, the people entering your life will meet a version of you transformed by truth. A version of you who sees clearly. A version of you who chooses peace. A version of you who no longer fears losing what was never meant for them. Because the heartbreaking truth that reached your home did not end your story. It began your elevation. And what comes after this will prove that losing what betrayed you was the first step toward receiving what truly belongs to you.